Well, in our program, they're better.
Yeah.
In our program, for sure, they're better. The program had a pretty good run in the very, 96, 7, 8, 9, somewhere in that range. They went to 3 straight NCAA tournaments.
Right.
So the school, when I took over, the school had only been to 4 tournaments. I think they had gone in, I want to say it was 1969. And then they went in, like I said, 97, 98, 99. And then after that, they sort of struggled. Now, some of the league formation changed and some of the teams that were in it. And also, quite frankly, when I took over in 2002, St. Lawrence was pretty far ahead. Yeah, they just won national championship in, I think, 99.
Yeah.
So they were pretty far ahead. So the team had been in, I don't know, three or 4 years in a row had losing records. So there was a lot more room for growth in terms of roster.
Right.
If you mean, are the players at the club level better than they were? Boy, that's a really long conversation.
I like those.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. I actually had this conversation with somebody else this morning a little bit. I kind of consider myself first generation American soccer.
Yeah.
Right? I grew up.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah. So you probably, I grew up, I was a Cosmos fan, NASL league. The national team was really not even, I think the first national team that I remember was in 1976, and it was the Bicentennial Cup, and it was made up of international stars that were playing in America.
Yeah.
Right? And then, Pelé would not play against Brazil, and the English guys wouldn't play against England, and the Italians wouldn't play against Italy when they played. So the interesting part is, I think my generation, a whole bunch of my friends growing up, we would get together every day in the summer and have pickup soccer. I don't see that anymore. I live, basically my neighborhood is right across the street from a huge town park that was cornfields when I was growing up. It's now soccer fields. It's been soccer fields for a good 20, 25 years. If I drive by there in the afternoon, it's empty.
Yeah.
It's just nobody there, right? During the club season, the Clifton Park Soccer Club that uses it, there's some teams out there. Even that club is shrunk in size. Saturday mornings, the rec league, the fields are busy. But in terms of kids getting together and playing on their own, I don't think that happens as much because the club stuff is 3 days a week and a game on Sunday. So they need time off. So are they as technical? Some are, the kids who are totally in love with it, right? But the middle of the road kids are only practicing 3 times a week for an hour and a half at the most. And by the way, in a team setting where you're doing not just technical work, you're doing tactical work, and and you're fitting in free kicks and whatever. So I don't know. I can't say the level is below, but it's. I feel like, and it might be just a fact of 20 years and the evolution of our program. It feels sometimes there are times when it feels it's harder to find guys we think are going to make us better.
Yeah.
Which we always find guys who do, but it feels harder when you're at the event. So I agree with you 100%. I think what sometimes is lost is desire.
Yeah.
Because, and I think part of that is, and I think we have a pretty big attrition rate in soccer as kids get older.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is, 10-year-olds are going on the road for 2 or 3 hours to play a game that's 2 20-minute halves.
Yeah.
And so they spend 6 hours in the car. Yeah. They play 40 minutes. And they're doing that all the way through, right? By the time they get to be 15, 16, 17, they're like, I just want to stay home. I don't want to go away every weekend. Yeah. So I think there's some of that. I think we burn kids out, and I think we have to be careful of that. Yeah. I have my son was a pretty good player. He was a victim, for lack of a better word, of COVID, right? So going into his spring of his junior year, I was coaching his club team. We had a pretty good team. Everything shuts down.
Yeah.
he can't do anything. He ends up figuring out that he's okay without soccer, and he gets into something else.
Yeah.
So he's not the only one. There was a lot.